Hey everybody, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Sinead DeFries, and this is The Daily Show, where we bring you the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is your editor-in-chief for AMC Movie News, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California, and we are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here, AMC senior editor, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Hey guys, lovely to be back, and it's very rainy in LA, and I could not be happier about it.
And writer-director, John Schnepp.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'm excited about the rain. You know, we got a drought going on over here. We don't get like wherever you live, if you're like in like the East Coast or West Coast, you're like, it's snowing and raining all the time. We're like just dry.
It's so 3 days of rain.
Yeah, this is
like,
awesome.
It's the apocalypse. What is that?
No, yeah, a lot of people are like, I don't know what to do, you know, but I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
So, yeah,
I'm liking the rain a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, before we jump into it, I just, on a side note, totally unmovie related, it's kind of funny. Last night, Dennis and I were at the Los Angeles Kings game, taking in a good hockey game, and I heard about the passing of one of the greatest hockey players to ever play the game. Jean Beliveau passed away last night, and so my condolences and thoughts to all of his friends, families, and most of all fans, especially in the province of Quebec. So my condolences to y'all. All right, let's get started. What's first?
Well, it is now official. Warner Brothers has announced the cast for their upcoming DC adaptation of Suicide Squad. The film will star Jared Leto, Dallas Buyers Club, as the Joker, Will Smith as Deadshot, Tom Hardy, The Dark Knight Rises, upcoming Mad Max Fury Road, as Rick Flag, Margot Robbie, The Wolf of Wall Street, as Harley Quinn, Jai Courtney, A Good Day to Die Hard, and the upcoming Terminator Genesis as Boomerang, and Cara Delevingne as Anna Karenina. It was previously announced that the film is being directed by Fury Helmer David Ayer. Suicide Squad hits AMC theaters on August 5th, 2016. John, thoughts on the cast of Suicide Squad?
Quite frankly, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because it's DC, which means it's irrelevant. So I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
My mouth just dropped.
Wow. I mean, talk about knocking this out of the park. I mean, look, I told you guys a while ago that Kevin Tsujihara, the new sheriff in town over at Warner Brothers, I told you this dude is all in when it comes to DC and his Warner Brothers properties, that he was going to take this damn seriously and they were going to start. Now, maybe they'll make mistakes, maybe they'll do it wrong, but it won't be from lack of effort. And this is clearly swinging for the fences. It is kind of weird when you sit back and think, okay, for Cyborg, they got this unknown dude. For Wonder Woman, they got this unknown girl, blah, blah, blah. But Suicide Squad? Let's get Tom Hardy, let's get Will Smith, let's get Margot Robbie, let's get all these people and all this kind of stuff. It's a terrific cast. I even like the Jai Courtney cast. I know Amy Rose has much different opinions than me. And while Jai Courtney has been in nothing but steaming garbage, I mean, although he was in Spartacus, and that's great, but while he's been in nothing but steaming garbage, I always thought he's been a very good actor and brought the best that he could. So I'm even happy with that casting. Here's the one concern I have. All right? Concern, not saying this is a deal breaker, just concern. I am concerned about the Joker being in here, not about Jared Leto playing it. Because other than Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm not sure there's anybody else I would have picked over Jared Leto to play the Joker. I think this is a great choice coming off his Academy Award win. This is a really bold and a coup to land for Kevin Tsujihara. I'm making this little suicide movie. I'm just going to go get some Academy Award winners. How about that? Playing the Joker. But here's my concern. One of the things I've always said I've been worried about the Suicide Squad is that how many times have we been presented with movies and pitched movies that are, this one's going to look at it from the position of the bad guy. And it turns out they're really just the good guys anyway, or they just become the good guys. We saw that with Maleficent. We saw that with, the Despicable Me movies. We see it time and time again. And my one fear about Suicide Squad is that they're going to take the Suicide Squad, but in the midst of their mission, they're going to find the heroism in their hearts, and they're actually going to act heroically and be heroes. And I can give or take that, whatever. Let me see what David Ayer, who I trust as a director, is going to do with it. But Joker? Joker's no hero. I don't want to see a heroic Joker. I don't want to see the Joker finding the spark of goodness that still remains in his heart. I don't want none of that crap. I want the Joker to be the Joker that Jared Leto can give us. But who knows? Maybe, remember, they're saying that Joker is in the Suicide Squad in the movie. They're not necessarily saying he's one of the members. Right. Maybe he's the villain. Maybe he's the one the Suicide Squad's going after, or maybe he is in Suicide Squad. I don't know. But just operating on what we know instead of what we're speculating, this is fantastic. Will Smith, like, I have some issues with what appears to be his attitude off camera. On camera, he's a force of nature. He's got almost rock level charisma. And not many actors have that he can just carry a movie on his own. Tom Hardy, don't need to say anything about Tom Hardy. He's Tom Hardy. Jared Leto, Margot Robbie, she was fantastic in Wolf of Wall Street. This is a good line, and yes, Jai Courtney. So I think this is great. This is an announcement. This is a statement being made by Warner Brothers. This is a statement being made by Kevin Tsujihara. I love it. The movie might suck, but they are swinging for the fences, and I love that. Anyway, Amy Rose, your thoughts on this whole Suicide Squad thing?
Yeah, Kevin Tsujihara, I've watched him. I used to work at Warner Brothers, right, for 4 years, and he was there when I was there, and he's been just climbing the ranks. He is a brilliant man, and you're right, he's all in for this. When I first heard the announcement, I was just like, wow, they shelled out some money for this talent.
Yeah.
That was definitely the first thing. And not to mention, this is probably the most good-looking ensemble that we've ever had on screen. But the cast is great. I love Will Smith. I do not fault him for the last couple of films because he was still good in a bad film. He's got so much charisma, and I don't know about, the remarks, but when I've interviewed him, he's just a class act. He's so professional, and I just love him on screen.
And he's unstoppably likable.
He's amazing.
He's hard not to like.
Tom Hardy, you're right. Jared Leto. We've talked about this a lot. If they would introduce the Joker, and if it was like a Batman standalone, I'd be disappointed because I want to see other villains being explored first. But in this context, I think it will work, and I'm really excited about the banter that will potentially go down between Harley Quinn and the Joker. I think the two of them together will be completely dynamic on screen. So I'm really looking forward to this as well. Jai Courtney, I don't share your sentiments. He overacts everything, and in something like this that is gonna be a little campy, I'm a little disappointed about that. But I think the ensemble's strong enough that I'm excited. And the total side, the unconventional pick, Cara Delevingne, the
from
model.
Anna Karenina.
Yeah, and she's absolutely stunning, but I don't know yet if she can act, but she's certainly nice to look at. So I think this ensemble is great, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how. But you're right, I don't want them to make them good. I want the villain's perspective. I want them to be as bad as they're supposed to be, so hopefully they don't tone it down and make it too PC.
Schnepp?
Yeah, we were talking about Kara. I was like saying she looks like a gelfling, like she's some kind of strange Henson creation.
She's
great
not even
Dark
real.
Crystal reference.
Yeah, she's like a model, but she's got that snub nose, like with Enchantress, weird creature. Maybe she just like hops around. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, perfect casting. I know you don't like him as an actor.
You don't either, right?
I'm not a big fan of his,
Yeah.
but as Captain Boomerang, one of the corniest, lamest characters ever created in the history of DC Comics. Just look at his outfit. He's got a weird blue outfit with a bunch of boomerangs. He's like, I'm gonna get you with my boomerang. Lamest character ever.
Perfect!
Perfect for Jai Courtney, because now it gives him something to chew on. Like, dude, I know everyone's like, kicking your ass left and right because they're like saying you can't act. You get to bust out as Captain Boomerang and prove them wrong. I think Deadshot, perfect casting with Will Smith.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. What are we going to say about Tom Hardy? Come on, hurry up and finish
Tom
Mad
Hardy.
Max. Yeah, let's go. He's awesome. So even though the character he's playing, Rick Flag, never did anything for me. It's just some dude in a weird yellow suit. In fact, later iterations of him, they gave him like a cool blue overcoat, but he still had that stupid yellow.
They're saying they may
outfit.
position him as the leader of the Suicide Squad too, which I think Hardy could carry that.
It makes
Oh, yeah.
sense. My biggest thing, honestly, is the Joker. And I agree with you. I just think it's weird to introduce the Joker without Batman. So
Yeah.
I've got two things that I'm thinking. They're going to bring Ben Affleck into this movie.
Whoa.
Ben Affleck's going to show up as Batman at some point because the Joker is nothing without Batman. I don't like the idea of adding the Joker as part of the Suicide Squad. I don't think they're going to play it like they get good at the end. They're going to have to just be like the Snake Plissken. There's like 6 of them. 6 Snake Plisskens. They send them on a mission. They have to have attitude. They have to turn on the government at the end and get what they want. They're villains. So, the Joker, though, I love the casting of Jared Leto.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, but I'm super concerned about playing him up as a good guy. I agree. I don't think they do that. That'd be horrible. I know Ayers is writing the script right now. So, Ayers, if you're watching our little show, don't ruin it. Don't
is.
ruin the
He's
Joker.
not.
What about this? What if, okay, so speculating, this is not based on anything, okay? What if they're brought together to go after this guy? What if they're brought together to go after the Joker? And in the midst of them going after them, that's when Harley Quinn is first introduced to the Joker. He woos her. She leaves the Suicide Squad off on their own, and later it's Batman's problem. I don't know. That has problems too.
Maybe he's not going to be a big part in it, and it's all set up. I mean, we have seen now from their aggressive steps that they're really trying to plan this universe. So maybe it is just setting it up for the Batman standalone again, or maybe something else could be
He's already
happening.
in Arkham Asylum. She's already Harley Quinn because Batman's already been Batman. He's retired in this new universe.
Yeah,
so
it's
he's already,
exciting.
the Joker's already existed, so maybe they'll have to go retro and do a prequel.
I don't think, though, that the Suicide Squad is just going to be a setup for the Batman. You don't get Will Smith, Tom Hardy, Jared Leto.
But I'm saying
Joker,
Joker,
just a setup.
personally.
Yeah, Joker's probably in Arkham Asylum, and maybe they have to break him out. Who knows? Yeah.
One other thing we should mention about this, one of the other rumors floating around about this is of course, for those of you who know anything about Suicide Squad, a very key character is Amanda Waller.
Oh, yeah.
There are rumors going around that they're looking at Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, and Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
I like
Oprah
all those
Winfrey
names.
is one of their first choices.
I would love that.
Again, Kevin Tsujihara. What am I gonna? I'll just get the world's most influential woman.
I know, but she looks like Oprah Winfrey in the comic
comics,
book
yeah.
version.
And she's a good actress.
Yeah.
I mean, she really is. Like in The Butler, I mean,
She's had Academy
carries.
Award
Yeah,
things
she's
before.
talented.
Another person I wouldn't mind for Amanda Waller, Vivica A. Fox.
Oh, yeah.
She would be
She's
like a
amazing.
badass.
Yeah, but
Octavia
she's just
Spencer?
too she's pimp Amanda Waller. I think Oprah.
awesome.
I think Oprah Winfrey's perfect. She has
Right?
to have that gruffness and she's got to be able to yell at these guys and make them feel the fear of God.
All right, we got some other things we got to get to. So what's next?
In the midst of a lot of leaks, rumors, and speculation, Fox has released an official synopsis for the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot. The synopsis reads as follows. The Fantastic Four, a contemporary reimagining of Marvel's original and longest-running superhero team, centers on four young outsiders who teleport to an alternate and dangerous universe, which alters their physical form in shocking ways. Their lives irrevocably upended, the team must learn to harness their daunting new abilities and work together to save Earth from a former friend-turned-enemy. Fantastic Four hits AMC theaters on August 7th. Schnepp, do you like the synopsis for the new film?
Look, hey, it's no secret. I'm a giant Fantastic Four fan. I've loved the character ever since I was a little kid. I absolutely hated the first two Fantastic Four movies. So it looks like a change for the better. Even though it's not sticking with the origin, it just feels like it's going to be a little more refreshing to watch. It's a brand new, flipped out, Fantastic Four Doom is like some, kid on the internet. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about it. The end zone instead of calling it the negative zone. I'll just have to wait and see. I mean, the synopsis sounds fine to me. I just have to see the movie. I just really can't judge it. But until then, I'm on the fence.
Yeah, I'm okay with the synopsis,
Yeah.
but I think that's the best word. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with the synopsis. It reads fine. Just going back to what I've been saying about Fantastic Four this whole time, and we're getting close to when it's coming out. Yeah. I trust this writer. We all like this writer. I trust this director. I trust this cast. So I'm still going to give this movie the benefit of the doubt, despite all the weird things that we hear coming out about it. Until they prove me wrong, this is not the same crew that made the other Fantastic Four films.
Right.
Thank
This
goodness.
is a totally different crew, and I like this crew, and I trust this crew more. So, look, it could go south really fast, but fingers crossed, I'm still giving it the benefit of the doubt, and I think the synopsis doesn't do anything to either make me more encouraged or less encouraged by it.
Yeah, exactly the same. It's not like enough details where I'm like, yes, I can't wait. But you're right, all the elements are intact, especially Josh Trank at the helm. He's a really inspired choice, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings to this. Yes, John?
Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on the chat board, and people are chatting about the Oprah Winfrey stuff. And she's saying, I can see Amanda Waller saying to the various members of Suicide Squad, you get a chip in your head, and you get a chip in your head. And this other one, Steven Starr says, Marvel says we have a Hulk, DC says we have an Oprah.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry anyway.
No, I'm on board with that. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. It's not enough. There's been some weird things. My only fear is I don't want them to try to modernize it too much with Dr. Doom and all the things we've heard about it. I know, but you know what I'm saying. It could work in the context of what they're scheming up. But from just the spectators where we don't really see a lot, we've seen a couple photos, the synopsis is kind of vague. I mean, we don't know enough to be in either direction. So I'm still cautiously optimistic. And I do love the cast as well. They're really talented.
Well, I'll add to that. I'm all for them just tossing out the old thing. I don't want a mixture. It's like just go all new, because that's what it sounds like. They went all new. That they're just doing an all new origin, all new kind of interpretations of the characters and their origin and what they do and how they interact. So I'd rather see that than because they're obviously not doing Stanley and Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four. They're doing a 2014 version, and I'm cool with that. I'd rather see something different if it works. So.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for Buy or Sell. Here's how this works. In front of us, Sinead's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Sinead, what do we got?
It's being reported that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes director Matt Reeves has signed on to direct a bank heist movie for Fox Studios after his upcoming Ape sequel in 2016. No details have been revealed about the new project other than it will be produced by former Spider-Man actor Tobey Maguire and his company. Amy Rose, buy or sell Reeves directing a bank heist film for Fox?
Yeah, I buy it. You know, not too many details yet, but I think Reeves, I mean, what he's done with the Apes franchise is spectacular. That's one of my favorite films of this year. And I think, he'll probably bring, I love heist films. I'm kind of a sucker for them. And Tobey Maguire, I mean, frankly, he doesn't really do it for me that much as an actor. I think he's fine, but he's just not, doesn't have that it factor for me. But I think doing something like this and having a lot of fun with the role is a really good step for him. So I'm in for now.
Sure.
I'm going to sell it. I just, bank heist, Yawnville for me.
I like bank heist.
I think it's a waste of his talents too. I mean, but that's just me projecting. I haven't read the script. It's just my silly opinion. I'd much rather see him tackle something different than a bunch of dudes trying to rob money from a bank. It just sounds like boring to me.
I'm gonna psychotically buy it. I love a good heist film, especially bank heists or casino heists or train heists, whatever kind of heist. I love a good heist film, and it's been a while since we've had a really good heist film. And I think he's the type of guy that can do it. And whether you look at, whether it's Apes or whether you look at his incarnation of Let Me In, which everybody said, don't remake, Let the Right One In, that'll be awful. And he made Let Me In, and it was pretty darn good.
Was still better.
Yes, but
Way
it was
better.
still a very good film.
I think Let Me In was horrible.
Really?
I didn't like it very much. It was okay.
And he's kind of a living representation about what people go, oh, only this guy can do it. Remember, Rupert Wyatt directed the first Planet of the Apes movie, and everybody really liked it. And when they said he was leaving, it's like, oh, now it's going to be awful because he's the only guy who can direct it. And then we get in Reeves, and he does a really, really good job with it.
Job.
So I trust him. I like heist films, so for me, it's got to be a buy.
I love that.
I know, right? I sell his facial hair, though. I do sell his facial hair, but other than that, I think he's great. All right, what's next?
The first trailer for the upcoming film Black or White has hit the web. The film is described like this. Starring Academy Award winners Kevin Costner and Octavia Spencer, Black or White tells the story of a grandfather, Costner, who was suddenly left to care for his beloved granddaughter. When the little girl's paternal grandmother, Spencer, seeks custody, a legal battle ensues that forces the families to confront their true feelings on race, forgiveness, and understanding. Black or White hits AMC theaters on January 30th. Schnepp, buy or sell the trailer for Black or White?
Well, I think it's important for us to understand race relations, and something like this is going to help more people understand that, we live in a multicultural world. So I buy it.
Amy Rose?
I can't say that I liked the trailer. I also agree that it's very important, but I just, from basing it just on what I saw, I wasn't that hooked. I wasn't that fascinated. But there's enough talent in there. Both of them are incredible leads. So maybe it was just a softball trailer to start the conversation. But I'm still curious to see the film. But based on that alone,
I buy that. I loved the trailer personally because to me it put its finger on a couple things. Number one, it kind of puts its finger on we all have race issues. Whether we kind of recognize them or not, we all have some degree of race issues even if we don't recognize them. But the other thing I think the trailer put its finger on is the opposite side of that, is that not everything somebody does is a race issue. Like when you're talking about the Kevin Costner character too, and I feel like this trailer told me this is going to be kind of a movie that approaches the dialogue and the discussion about these types of issues in a really intelligent manner. And that excites me. Does the trailer overall just blow me away as a trailer? No, but it opened up the doors to me that I think this could be a really key and important film.
I hope
for stuff like that. All right, one more buy or sell about the whole source code thing. What do we got?
All right, it's being reported that a sequel to the 2001 Jake Gyllenhaal film Source Code is in the works. The original film made just over $54 million at the domestic box office and $147 million worldwide. No word on if Gyllenhaal would return to the project or not. John, buy or sell the idea of a Source Code sequel?
Sell! And I sell for a couple of reasons. One, I know a lot of people who are far more intelligent than me really, really like Source Code. I thought Source Code was okay. I thought it was a clever movie. It was an interesting movie. I thought it was directed really well. But he's not coming back to direct it. And if you saw the movie, there's not really anywhere to go. And for me, it was a pretty unsatisfying ending that did not leave me going, oh, I want another one at all. And plus, 140-something million worldwide is okay. If you made that movie, you can sit back and go, made 140-something million, $32 million budget, job well done, mission accomplished. But it's not exactly the type of box office numbers that tell you that the audience is screaming for more. So while I'll be open-minded to when it comes out, for now I got to sell.
Are you positive he's not coming back?
Duncan Jones is who you're talking
the
about.
director we're talking about. Pretty positive he's not coming back, yeah.
Because I did find Source Code great. I mean, Moon, Source
Like I said,
Code,
a lot of people more intelligent than me liked it.
Thank you very much. I did find it really interesting. Jake Gyllenhaal, he's unstoppable right now. He's just so incredible. Did you see that photo of Southpaw and the coming off Nightcrawler?
Crazy.
Demolition. I mean, I love the choices he's made with his career. So if he were to come back, I'd be more interested. If Duncan Jones were to come back, I'd be more interested. But if both of them aren't, I'm out.
I think it's Michael Madsen in Source Code 2. Straight to Hulu. I sell this
Straight to
hard.
Hulu.
Super sold. Selling. I don't want to see a Source Code 2. Unless I'm like late at night and I'm drunk, I'm like, oh, I'll watch a half hour sleep. It's like as a cure for insomnia, the Source Code 2 movie. I don't know. I know Duncan Jones is not coming back. I could place bets that he's not coming back and Jake Gyllenhaal can't come back, or they'd have to figure out some new way to bring him back or whatever. It just sounds like it's very uninteresting to me. And I also had problems with the original movie. I loved Moon.
Loved Moon.
Oh, yeah.
And
One
I'm
of my
very much
favorite
looking forward to Warcraft, but Source Code didn't really do it for me. There was cool parts of it, and other parts I just didn't like. And so anyway, I'm selling.
Cannot wait for Warcraft. Okay, now folks, we reached that part of the show for a mailbag. This is how it works. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, just email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Every day we take a couple questions from the mailbag. We even have a whole show on the weekends just called AMC Mailbag, where all we do is take your questions. So see if your question gets on here or there. I'm also going to let you know that we're going to try to save a minute or two at the end of the show to take some of your live questions. If you're watching us live right now, you can tweet to us at AMC Movie News, and Sinead will pick out a couple questions at the end. But for now, let's get to the mailbag questions. So Sinead, what do we got?
Chris Davis writes, I love this show and remember hearing that it would not come as a shock to many of the AMC movie crew members if there were more movies in the Hunger Games universe after Mockingjay Part 2. I was wondering what you thought of a Finnick Odair prequel. Finnick is an easily lovable character who has a very mysterious past that includes being manipulated by the Capitol on a very personal level and his relationship with Annie. I personally love Finnick and would love to have his story continue to help the Hunger Games cinematic universe.
No. And the reason I would say no is because a lot of the things that make, I think, Finnick a fascinating character, played by Sam Claflin, who we've had in this studio sitting at this table before, and lovely guy, really like him. Everything that would be really key and important about him, I feel like they've already laid it out for us in the things. Like, we know he was one of the tributes in the Hunger Games. We know he won his Hunger Games. We know about his romances. We know that he was taken by President Snow and kind of pimped out, almost as a living celebrity prostitute to a lot of people. That he garnered a lot of secrets and stuff like that. And the new Hunger Games films, especially this last one, paid almost no attention to the character whatsoever. And so while I feel like there are stories to tell in this world of Panem beyond Hunger Games, I don't feel like a prequel is the way to go, and I don't feel like Finnick Odair is the character to go, because I think he's a great character, but I feel like they've used him to his potential at this point, and I don't feel like they're setting him up where he can be explored more later. Anyway, Amy Rose, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. First of all, I don't think it's... I mean, you better believe Lionsgate and Summit are going to be asking Suzanne Collins to write something else.
They're trying to think of something,
You better believe it. I mean, this is their cash cow. So, of course, as we're seeing with Harry Potter universe expanding, it's definitely a question that is probably a hot topic of conversation at the studio. I love Finnick Odair, but his vehicle was catching fire. That was his film. You know, Katniss was pretty much the centerfold of Mockingjay, and it's going to continue to be that way. She's figuring it out, she's stepping up for the rebellion, all that. But Finnick, that was his breakout film, Catching Fire. He was amazing in it, and I love his backstory, and I love him as a character, but I don't think a prequel is the way to go with this either. I would love to see Effie used, like, after the fact.
I want to see her with a gun in the next one.
I don't want to give away too much of what happens next for those who haven't read the books, but no, I don't think a prequel is the way to go because of how explosive the current situation of the films are right now with Mockingjay, and I just feel like it would be like the aftermath I'd be more interested in than a prequel, at least for this series.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the idea of prequels. I haven't read the books, so I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. But I would go with, like, you know, what's happening with these characters at the same time as all of this is going, as you know, Mockingjay, you know, part 1 and 2 are going on. They could do things like this is what's happening with these other characters from their perspective and their factions, because there are all these different factions, you know, that they're trying to free. Some are enslaved, some are getting, you know, released. So it's like, I don't know. That's at least something different for me. The idea of a prequel doesn't do anything for me.
All right, what's next?
Christian Velasco writes, I personally loved the Star Wars parody known as Spaceballs. And in the middle of the movie, Yogurt talks about himself returning in Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. I don't know if it was a joke or a planned sequel of the film that was either canceled or put out independently, but do you think it would be a great idea to make one more with the upcoming Star Wars films? Thanks, and keep up the work.
We're the Spaceballs. Watch out. I love that movie. I love Spaceballs so much. It's such a special movie to me. No, you can't make another one. You can't make another one. And there's a couple reasons. Number one, the state of spoof movies right now are a humiliation to Hollywood. That there hasn't been a good spoof movie in ages. I can't remember when the last real true heir to Airplane or Hot Shots Part 2,
right,
or I keep forgetting the name of the Val Kilmer one, which I love so much.
Top Secret.
Top Secret, which was so good. Spaceballs. And so the atmosphere, the current climate just isn't right, I think, for a spoof movie like that. But the second thing is, I've always said, look, change directors, Spaceballs is so infused with the personality of Mel Brooks. It's a Mel Brooks film. It's not just a film directed by Mel Brooks. It's a Mel Brooks film. And he's not doing much these days. No. And so, look, if Mel Brooks said, I'm interested in doing another Spaceballs for fun, then you'd have my attention. But outside of that, the fact that Mel isn't really doing much anymore these days, hey, he's earned it. Let him hang out at a golf course all day. He's totally earned it. Mm-hmm. So I would say, nah, I'm okay with there not being one. I'll just keep watching Spaceballs on Amazon Prime every night while I go to bed, which is kind of what I do. Anyway, Schnepp, what do you think?
Well, it's interesting. Mel Brooks has a great documentary on Netflix right now where it's him and a bunch of people he's worked with and goes through his entire filmography. When they got to Spaceballs, they talked about it. It was like, wanted to do something, wanted to try it out. He had to talk with Lucas, and Lucas was like, look, as long as you don't make toys, you can do whatever you want. So that's why you've never seen toys of Spaceballs, because he basically promised George Lucas, we won't make any toys.
I want a Dark Helmet bobblehead.
Everybody wants, everybody would love to have some Spaceballs toys. So maybe Lucas, if you're hearing this, you got $4 billion or something, let him make some toys, you know, yogurt. Who doesn't want a plush yogurt? So, but yeah, that's one of the things. And the other thing is it was a gigantic bomb. People forget when Spaceballs came out, none of you saw it. You're all watching it for free on some TV, channel. But when you went through, nobody went to see it in the movies, and critically bombed too. Critics hated it. No one went to go see it. Bomb. So now there's a giant love for Spaceballs, all this retro nostalgia and all this other stuff. People hated it when it first came out. Critics hated it. Audiences hated it. So it was like, it's a horrible Mel Brooks movie. Now everyone's like, oh, I love Spaceballs. Yeah. It's just like context. So, if someone wanted to give Mel Brooks $30 million, Mel Brooks would make Spaceballs 2, Revenge of Dark Helmet, or whatever it's going to get.
Oh, you sold me! You sold me! I want that movie so bad.
They'd have
get Rick Moranis out of retirement.
Rick Moranis out of retirement. I don't know what that dude's doing. He's in Santa Monica somewhere, surfing, bodyboarding. I don't know. Get that dude back in the helmet. So,
Do you even think they would need 30 million? I think they could do it for much less.
Get 100 million. It's got to be giant.
If you watch the production value of the first Spaceballs, it is so shoestring,
Exactly.
which is part of its charm,
Yeah,
right?
no, I love Spaceballs. It is a classic. It's really interesting watching the life of these cult classics just kind of, explode, because you're right. It was a bomb by monetary standards, and then now it's a classic. And there's so many films like that. So it's interesting how that happens. I don't think we'll see it, and I don't really care to, because we'll always have Spaceballs.
Unless you did a remake, because you can't, John Candy, Joan Rivers, they don't exist anymore. They passed on. So it's like you'd have to make a Spaceballs remake.
I think one of my all-time favorite in a movie theater experiences was a couple years ago. I went to go see a screening of Spaceballs with Bill Pullman, doing a Q&A afterwards. And Bill Pullman, playing Lodestar, he told so many stories about him and John Candy on set. And Mel Brooks, and seriously was some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard. I think my all-time favorite Q&A is one I did with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. That was the funniest, best Q&A I've ever been a part of.
That's gotta be crazy.
But
Shatner alone.
This one with Bill Pullman, just talking about stories of him and John Candy, was so special and so great. As AMC Movie Talk, I really want to try to pull together a screening of Spaceballs and see if we can get Bill Pullman in to retell some of those stories, because that would be so cool.
Yeah.
All right, folks, I said we'd save a little bit of time. We'll take one or two questions from you guys from Twitter right now. So, Sinead, what have you pulled out of the Twitter stream?
Kyle asks, what would you guys think of a School of Rock reunion film?
You know what? I'm one of these guys that it was a good film. I didn't see anything particularly enduring or special about School of Rock. I know a lot of people put it on a cult classic level. Cool. And I like the film, but I wouldn't be interested personally.
I don't want to see it, but I did find the first film charming. I loved Jack Black utilizing his skills as a musician and also his comedic timing, but also dramatic chops. That's the Jack Black I love. So I thought it was great, and I'm a music junkie, but I don't want a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the School of Rock kids play in concert like 2 years ago. It's great. I mean, it's such an awesome experience, and I love the movie, but does it need a sequel? Absolutely not. No. It's just cool that is a real thing. That's all that's interesting to me. So.
All right, what's next?
Jonathan asks, do weather patterns like last week's 8 feet of snow in the Northeast severely impact the box office returns?
It can.
Good question.
But, it's always, be careful when you're looking at weather, because like Buffalo, right, got buried in like 6, 7, 8 feet of snow, where just an hour and a half away in my hometown of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, they got like maybe an inch. So, I mean, it depends on how widespreading. So it can, but I don't think, generally speaking, it's as big of an impact as people think. I know when people want to go to the movies, they just go to the movies. Right. It doesn't matter how much.
Snow more than rain, because
Snow
when it rains,
much more than rain.
Right.
all I want to do is watch movies.
Right.
That's it. So, but usually in the comfort of my own home. So it is hard to motivate, especially in LA when people don't know how to drive. So, but yeah, snow much more than rain. That's hard to motivate.
I'm sure 8 feet of snow stops people from going to movies. Or I gotta get to see Hunger Games. It's not happening, So.
All right, let's take one more.
All right, Joseph asks, hi, MC, do you guys ever dress up in costumes for movies? How do you guys show your fandom at the movie theater?
I have. I've been known to don a Jedi costume on more than one occasion, and I think the last time I did anything close was when we did Man of Steel. The opening night for Man of Steel, we were at the AMC Burbank 16, and I ordered online this really high-quality big Superman cape.
I remember that.
And I just walked around all day in a Superman.
Right.
I even did the show that day in my Superman cape. I was so into my Superman cape, it was kind of sad. Anyway, I know you dress up.
I dress up. I love Halloween, Comic-Con. I dress up at those. In films, I show my love and support by being vocal about it and supporting it and spending the money at the theater. So yeah, I don't tend to dress up at screenings, but I do love to dress up. And Alicia and I, Batman and Robin on AMCI, that was fun.
Yeah, I like to dress up in cool sweaters like this amazing Sasquatch cardigan from Middle of Beyond. But yeah, putting on costumes, I save that for the professional cosplayers or any sweaty nerd who wants to put on a weird outfit.
Absolutely,
yay for you.
Yeah, I mean, but you can bet your ass that come opening weekend of Star Wars Episode 7,
I'll bring out my Leia costume.
I'm gonna be rocking a Jedi outfit.
I'm rocking a Sith outfit, son. Sith.
I'll
Sith
bring my
forever.
New Hope Leia.
All right, folks, that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Listen, don't forget, lots of great movies playing at AMC Theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for all your theater, showtime, and of course, your movie ticket information. Listen, if you want an audio-only version of this episode, we do an audio-only podcast. Look in the description of this video for the link to our podcast feed so you can listen to our shows on your way to work or at the gym or wherever you happen to be. Also, don't forget, click the thumbs up on this video and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it on Twitter and on your Facebook, wherever you'd like to share things. I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, our senior editor here at AMC Movie News, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you online?
On Twitter and Instagram at Amy Rosie, and our new episode of AMCI Indie Spotlight is up now. We talk about like the Spirit Award nominees and so many amazing indie films out right now, so come hang out.
I thought you were just going to say we talk about the spirits, like tune out.
Yeah, right. That amazing Frank Miller, the what?
No.
Of course, writer-director Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at John Schnepp. And we were talking about Mel Brooks. Check out Young Frankenstein.
Yes.
I think that's one of
Yes.
his all-time classics, and I watch it at least once a year. It always makes me laugh.
And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Sinead DeFries. Sinead, where can people find you?
On Instagram and Twitter at Sinead DeFries and at that'ssosinead.com.
And you can find me on the various social media networks just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name is John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until tomorrow, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.